Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture series of software development practices. So in this video lecture we are going to see about some questions and its answers or the solution for the problems. Welcome to the Q&A section. In this section we are going to see the solution for this particular query, that is creating a web page for conducting a quiz using the HTML and CSS, and in the web page we are going to use drop down boxes or drop down menus. Now let us see this. So in order to see this we are going to open the Virtual Studio, and there we are going to create the HTML and CSS pages. So over to Visual Studio Code. So in this Visual Studio Code, in a folder set to be unit 3, we are going to create the HTML and CSS file. So this will be your folder set to be unit 3, and here we are going to create the files of HTML and CSS. Now let's see that. So I am minimizing it so that we shall visually see how the files are getting created. So here first of all we need to create a HTML file. So I am clicking the new file, and then I am giving the name as index.html. On clicking enter, you will be seeing a index page or HTML page created in the folder, as well as it has been opened in VS Code. Now we shall create a file for CSS. So I am giving a style.css and then click enter. So the CSS file will be getting created inside the folder, and it will be getting opened in your VS Code. Now I am maximizing this. In order to create a HTML page, the first and foremost thing which we need to give is we need to use the version. Which version we are going to create, that we need to input. So I am giving it as document type, and here the document type is HTML, and then the root is HTML. So I am typing as HTML, and then we need to provide we need to create a title for this particular page. So here what I am going to do is I am going to show the live preview of this particular page, so that you will be able to see the changes. So here the title has to be given inside the tag set to be head. So I am typing both the things, or I am creating both the things. So here I am going to create the title as quiz page. So you can see in the right hand side whatever I am typing, you can see it in the preview page. I am saving it here. Now the title page has been created. Clear? And then we need to design the page, or we have to design the page where we need to get the details, or we need to create the form for the quiz. Okay. And here what I am going to do is I am going to enclose all the entire contents what I am going to create inside a container. For that I am creating a division tag, and inside that I am going to create this particular page. So inside the division tag, or inside the division, I am going to create a heading for the page to say what is this particular page. Okay, so I am giving it as quiz time. So you can see it in the right hand side whatever changes we are making. Now I am saving it. Okay, so below this I am going to create a form. Okay, so form, and here I need to provide the ID, right? So for doing the processing I need to provide the ID for this. So I am giving it as ID is quiz form. So this is the ID for this particular form set to be, so which we are using for this quiz. Clear? And then what we need to do is we need to create the questions for the quiz. Okay, so for the quiz we need to provide, or we need to create the questions, right? So here I am going to create some 2 questions. Okay, in order to demonstrate this I am going to create some 2 questions alone. Clear? So here as the same as that of the form or the page, I am going to create a block for the question, right? So again I am going to create a block inside a division. Okay, right? Because the query given is we need to create a HTML page and we need to apply styles for that. Okay, so in order to give styles for the question and the input box, it is well better to enclose within the division. Okay, so that I have given the division here. Clear? And then I am going to create a label, right? So the label is the place where we will be providing the question. Okay, so where we will be providing the question or the content. Okay, so I am going to give the question. What is the first phase in the waterfall model? That is the question given for this particular quiz. Okay, and then what we need to do, we need to provide the option for answering, right? So here we can provide drop down box. Okay, so the syntax for drop down box is select. Okay, select is the drop down box. Clear? And then here we need to provide the option. Okay, so I am going to provide some three different options, right? So from the three different options you can select it. Okay, so I am giving the first option to be design, and then the second option to be testing, option requirements, and again one more option I am going to give. So that's the coding. Okay, so these are the four options I am giving, right? So here in the output window you see whatever we are typing, that is being shown here, right? So I don't want to show this here, right? I need to say, show a message that select the answer, right? So for that what I can do is I am going to give the option for the first option I am giving this select the question as the option. Select the question as the option here. Clear, right? So here what will be happening, the select the question as option will be given as the uh, will be given as the output, or it will be shown in the drop down box. Clear? Similarly we shall create another one question too. Okay, so for that also the same division, and inside that label we need to create the second question. Okay, so number 2. Okay, the question is ready. Now we need to provide the option, right? So I am selecting the copying the select buttons and I am pasting it here, and here I am going to change the options. Okay, so I am going to keep the same options, right? So only a change I need to make here, maintenance. Okay, so I have created the questions which are needed for this particular page. Okay, and then what we need to do, we need a button here, right? So in order to submit the answers we need a button, right? So I am directly giving the button here, button, or else you can provide the input type to be text. Okay, so here I am going to give the label as submit, and the type of button should be a submit button. Okay, so type of button should be a submit button, right? So now the work of our HTML page got over, right? So now in order to uh, show the styles, we need an external style sheet, right? So the place where we need to input the external style sheet is the head, right? So here we need to provide the option to input the external style sheet, right? So the link is the tag which we will be using for embedding the style sheet, right? So relation style sheet, and then the h reference is equal to style, the file which we have created already. Okay, and then so we need to provide some classes. Okay, so in order to include the styles in this HTML page, we need to provide some classes, right? So first I am going to create a class set to be container. Okay, so here what will be happening? So whatever uh, styles which I am giving inside this container will be fully uh, reflected in for the overall page. Okay, so it will be surrounded to the question time, it will be shown. Okay, and then I need to provide the class for this first question. Okay, so class equal to quiz question. Okay, class equal to quiz question, I am giving the class for this. Okay, and the same can be used for the second division also. So here also I am giving the same thing, and then for the label I need to give. Okay, so for that, in order to bind the label, we need to provide a ID for the select. Okay, so I am giving it as question1. Question1 is the ID. The same ID I need to use it for the label also. Okay, so I'm copying it, equal for, I'm pasting it for equal to question. Same way here for the select, I need to use it. Okay, ID equal to question, and for, so the question it is 2, and here also same, it is 2. Clear? So here we have created the classes for the question, for the selection, that is the drop down box, for the entire page, and then we need to provide the, or we need to design the page, sorry, we need to design the CSS for this entire page. Okay, so now we shall move to the style.css file. Okay, so first we shall create a style for the body. For the entire body we shall create a style. Okay, so here I am going to use a font for this particular page, right? So font family I have created, right? So you can see the changes lively, right? Then I need to set a margin. Okay, so margin colon 0, right? So in our setting a margin, and then I need to set a padding for this particular entire body. Okay, and then I am going to change the background color. Okay, so color I am going to give in a hexadecimal value. Okay, so hexadecimal value I have given, right? So a gray color has been given here, right? So this is the style which I have given for the entire body, right? So next what we have done is we have created a division here for surrounding the entire form. We have created a division here, right? Here, right? For this particular area we need to create a style. Okay, so here since we have used a class here, we need to use dot followed by the name of that particular class, container. Clear, container, right? And here I'm going to set the margin. Okay, so I'm going to set a margin. I'm giving the size to be 50 px. Now we can see I'm going to give the margin to be 50 pixel for all the surrounding, right? And it has to be set automatically, right? Okay, so it has to set automatically, right? So auto has been given to it, and then I am going to give the padding, and it should be 20 pixel, right? So 20 pixel padding for the margin. Clear? And then I am going to give a background for this particular container, right? So it is white. Okay, so white background I have given. Okay, and then I am going to set a maximum width for this, maximum width for this particular container. Okay, so I'm giving it as 600 pixel. That is the maximum width I am given. And then I am going to set a radius. That is, I am going to show a rounded type box here, right? So for that I am going to give a border radius, right? So border radius, I am giving it as some 10 pixel. Okay, 10 pixel radius. Okay, so now we should give a box. Okay, so we should give a box shadow for this. Okay, so for this box shadow I am going to use the shorthand property. So 4 pixel and 6 pixel. So you can see the changes whatever I am doing, and then RGBA color for that. 0.1. Okay, can see, so the shorthand for this particular box I have given here, clear, and the color as well as the shadow which should be given for that particular page I have given here. Okay, so next for the container we have created the style, and what is the next one? So next one is the quiz question. Okay, so for the quiz question we are going to create the style. So dot quiz question. So here I am not going to give any advanced or more styles for this. I am going to create only a margin for this. Okay, so margin bottom 15 px. Okay, for the quiz question I have given a margin for this particular space. Here you can see, so what happened to this? So previously you can see the questions are being clubbed together when the margin is being given, so it got separated, clear. Okay, so and then we need to give style for this label. Okay, so for this label we need to give the style, clear. So for that, so since it is a child for this question, we can create it as a child class. Okay, so quiz question is at the top, and within the quiz question we have the label, and within that we have the select, right? So these label and select will be the child for this parent class. Okay, so here we can create the label for this. Okay, so here we are going to create the style. First we are going to display it as a block. Okay, so you can see it has been displayed as a block, and then we need to create the font size. So what font size we are going to give, right? So I'm going to give it as some 16 pixel, and then similarly as previous case I'm going to create a margin for this. Okay, so margin I'm giving it as 15, so it is something somewhat big, so I'm going to reduce it. Okay, so 8 pixel I have given, and then I'm going to give a color, some grayish color I am going to give. So here I am going to use 35. Okay, right, some grayish color I have given, right? So the label got this color. Then for the select, for the select we need to create the style. Okay, so select, that is for this particular drop down box we need to create the style. Okay, so here I am going to show the uh, drop down box to be covered entirely for this particular container, right? So fully it will be shown. For that I am going to give the width. Okay, so it will cover the entire window, so 100%, you can see it, right? So then I am going to show the padding 8 pixel I have given. Okay, so you can see the padding it is being given surrounded to that particular text area, and then the font size I am giving it as some 8 pixel. Okay. So it is somewhat small, so that we shall move to some 14. Okay, so now it's okay, and then I'm going to give the border border, I'm going to give it as 1 pixel border, and it should be solid, and I'm going to give a color, okay, a grayish, light grayish color, and here I'm going to create a radius for this particular drop down box. Okay, so border radius, here I'm giving it as some 5 pixel. Okay, so some 10 pixel I'm giving, right? Okay, so some 10 pixel, and a background color for this. So the background color I'm going to give it as white. Okay, so background color for the question or the select is white. Okay, so you can see clear. And what else is there is we haven't created any style for this heading, right? So here you can create a style for this heading too. Okay, so we can align the text to center, so text align center. Okay, so now it has been aligned to center. I'm going to change the color. I'm going to give it as some, okay, and margin bottom I'm giving it as some 20 px. Okay, so here you can see that the text has been aligned to the center and it took the font of body, right? And we shall make this particular button to we can make this button some stylish, right? So for that also we can give a style. So for this button, first of all we can make it as to the display to block. Okay, so I'm going to make this button same as that of the drop down menu, right? So I'm going to give it the width to be 100%. Okay, and then padding we can give, so padding to be some 10 px. Okay, so now it's fine. Then you can change the font size to be something some 16 px. Okay, 16 px, it will be somewhat bigger than that of the text which is available already. And I'm going to change the color. Okay, so color, white color I'm going to give. Okay, right, so now the became white color. So I'm going to change the background color something, okay, some blue, right? And here I don't want this border, so I'm going to take out this border, right? So now it's look good. So we shall make this button same as that of the drop down. Okay, so border radius, already we have given the border radius to be 10 px, same way we can give it here. And so what type of cursor it should appear, right? So when the mouse button is kept over, right? So I'm going to give the cursor to be pointer, right? So it is the default one, right? So it will be a hand symbol will be shown here, right? So now we shall make one thing on keeping this particular cursor over this. Yeah, we can make just small change over this, right? So for that, so we can use the property set to be hover. Okay, so button and colon, we shall give the properties to be hover. And so we are not going to give any some advanced thing or anything. We are going to change only the background color when the cursor is kept over this. Okay, so 0. Okay, so it's also similar to that of a dark blue, right? On keeping the cursor over this, you can see the change. Clear? So this is your outcome of this particular query. So quiz time. So here I repeat it once again. So initially we have created the HTML page structure, and then we have created a division. Inside that we have created a form, and inside the form we have created a separate block for this particular question. And for this question we have created label, so which will be displaying the question, and we have created a drop down box where the options will be getting displayed, right? So similarly we have created some two questions for this. Okay, so a label and select boxes. Okay, and then a button for submitting. Clear. And for each and every division, label, selection, we have created separate classes. Okay, so for the division or the block for the questions, we have created a class, and for the container, that is for the entire body, we have created another one class. Okay, and in the style, we have created a style for body, and for the container we have created a style. For the question, that is for the label, sorry, for the entire division, we have created the style, and then for the label, for the select button, sorry, for the drop down menu, and then for the heading one, button, and small animation here we have done, right? So while clicking, keeping the mouse over the button, we will be, or the button color will be getting changed. Like this, we have made a change here. Clear. So this is the solution for your question, creating a quiz page with drop down menu or drop down box using HTML and CSS. Thank you.